everybody, I just wanted to do a quick video to show you how I cut out and layer a little bit more of an intricate design and how I get everything to line up correctly. So for my example, I'm just using this butterfly. If you can't see it, it has a purple layer and then I'm going to put it on a black background. So I'm going to kind of show you how I do the registration marks and how I get everything cut out and then how I layer it together easily. So what we're going to do is first, if you have your design, you're going to want to make sure that it's ungrouped if it's grouped together. So here you can see it's two layers. So I have a purple layer and then I have my black background layer. So we can put that back together, and a good way to do that, you can either just undo or you can select everything, and then I'll just in my align window hit center and then move them kind of up where you want them. And then I'm going to use I'm just going to draw a square, or you can draw a diamond, whatever you want to do. Just make a small one here, and then I'm going to duplicate so I have a couple of them and space them out here. Okay, so those will be, I'll color those in so you can see them a little bit better. Those will be my registration marks that I can use to line up my design after it's cut out. You want to make sure there's a little bit of space so they're not too close. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go to our cut style window, and hopefully you can see right now it's going to cut everything out. So it would cut the purple inside out away from my black. So I'm going to cut my black first, so I want to make sure that the purple parts are deselected. So I'm going to select that, and then over on the right hand side you can click no cut. And then you can see the outline of only the black part is going to be cut. And we want to cut the squares too. So we're going to make sure that those are going to cut. And then on the next pass, after that's cut out, we're going to reselect the purple and make that say cut. And then deselect the black area and make that one a no cut. We're still going to cut the squares because that's how we're going to line up our design after it's been cut. And then we're going to use those to layer. So this time I'm going to cut out the purple area with the squares. So that's kind of how you're going to get it set up in the Silhouette Studio software. I'm going to go ahead and do that and cut those out, and then I'll be back to show you how to layer it. Okay, hopefully I can get this to show up the way that I want, so you'll be able to see the idea here. But I'm just going to go ahead and weed my design, leaving the two squares at the top that I made. And then this is a pretty quick one to weed out, so sorry, I'm trying to work around my camera so you can see what I'm doing here. So there's the purple, and instead of black I ended up doing teal. So and then we'll go ahead and do this one. Same idea here, just a little bit thicker. I actually created this just using an offset, and this was one of the files actually from the forum. So I'm going to get rid of these extra pieces here. Okay. So excuse me. Okay, so we have, this is the back one, and then the thinner will be layered on top of it. And since we did not move the design around, we'll be able to line these squares up, and it should be pretty much perfectly registered. These squares, or if you did diamonds, whatever, you can do whatever shape you want. It gets easier, or it helps more and more as your designs are more intricate. This one, I probably could eyeball it if I'm using clear masking, but for the sake of an example. Okay, let me grab my transfer tape. I have a couple of kinds. This is a big roll of clear. You can use paper, or you might even have, you can get it on sheets too. That'll work. They're translucent enough that you can see the squares through the paper. So this works even if you have a paper backing, but so that I can illustrate a little bit better, I'm going to use my clear tape. So let me cut a piece of that off. This is medium tack. I probably should have got high tack paper, but this should work. It might just be a little finicky. I'll cut a piece off. Now when you're layering a design, you want to start with your top layer. Oops. Sorry about that. And of course this, my vinyl is kind of bubbled up there. It's off of the middle of a roll, so I'm going to tape this down so I can get to it a little better. Okay, so I want to just go ahead and tape this down and make sure, can you see that? Sorry. Make sure that your tape is covering up your registration marks there too. And then I'm gonna scrape it down, make sure it's all really well stuck, including the squares. And then we can peel that off. Okay, and then here's a little trick. I'm gonna stick it back on the backer with only the registration squares hanging off. And hopefully that doesn't stick to my mouth. Okay, so now that's stuck on there and your squares are hanging off. We can bring in our other design, and now since we have the backer on there for a minute, you can move this around without your design sticking down. This could be a little awkward to do on camera here. So you're just gonna line up. I don't know if you can see that or not. You're gonna line up your squares at the top, and if you get them perfectly lined up, okay, I'm gonna kind of press those down, and then I can lift it up and take off the backer, and you can kind of scrape that down, and it should be lined up almost perfectly. The better you do at lining up your squares, the better centered that will be in the end. You can see that's all nicely lined up on there, and you can just go ahead and cut your design out, and you're all ready to go. Just make sure, you know, that you rub it really well so that your layers are adhered. And then there's your finished design. I hope this really helps you out. If you have any other questions, just leave a comment and I'll do whatever I can. Hopefully I didn't do this too quickly. Yeah, so maybe I'll make more videos. If you have any other questions, just let me know. Okay, thanks.